Hello everybody, welcome to Art and Purulia. I am Turit Mahato. Today I shall be talking about painting using acrylics. Acrylics are the best medium of painting I have ever come across. Simple to work with, inexpensive and quite hassle-free. Only drawback I found is it dries too fast. If you can master the art of handling the paint before it dries, there cannot be anything better than acrylics. I will be covering the details of materials in the first part, and the second part will cover the techniques and a demonstration. Acrylic paints are made of pigments, acrylic polymer emulsion as binder, and water as solvent or vehicle. After the paint is applied, the water evaporates. The acrylic paints are water soluble when wet but become water resistant when dry. The paint is non-toxic, and in fact it's the same paint we apply on our walls, doors and windows. Of course, the variety of paint used for painting is slightly different. The paints dry very fast and are extremely versatile, affordable and are easily available. The colors are saturated and vibrant and much quick and easy to learn and use. Some people even refer acrylics as water-based alternative to oil paints. Let's see what all basic materials you'll need to do acrylic painting. You'll need a painting surface to paint on. Actually, with acrylics you can paint almost on anything. Acrylic gesso you'll require to prime the painting surface, paints to paint with, binders and additives to mix with the paints, brushes and knives to mix the paints and apply the paint with, palettes to hold your paint and mix, and a few additional materials like water jar, water itself, easel and a few paper towels or a cloth rag. Painting surface. The great thing about acrylics is that they are so flexible, they can be painted on practically anything: paper, board, linen or canvas. You can even paint on your body, which definitely I won't recommend. The most affordable options are acrylic paper or canvas board. Acrylic paper comes in pads, has a substantial weight around 300 GSM or 140 pounds to prevent buckling with water. Canvas board is a thin cardboard with the canvas wrapped around the edges and glued to the back. You will find canvas boards in various sizes. You will also find canvas boards with wooden frame and wrapped all around with canvas, with provision to stretch the canvas even farther, if the need be. These are generally used by professional artists. You can also use wood panels, MDF boards or glass to paint on. Acrylic gesso. Though you can paint with acrylics directly on any surface, to get an even finish and longevity and to increase the paint holding properties of the surface, it's always advisable to apply a layer of primer commonly known as gesso. Gesso is effectively a very pigment-rich, thick acrylic paint. Most of the time, white gesso is used, but you get in black also if you want to start with the black background. Paints being the main ingredient, I'll cover it in slightly more details. Viscosity or consistency. Acrylic paints are available primarily in heavy body and fluid form, in various sizes of tubes and bottles. Some manufacturers make even extra thick like a paste available in jars, and extra fluid like ink available in bottles with nozzles. Heavy body acrylics are thick and buttery with the consistency of toothpaste. They are designed to replicate the feel of traditional oil paints. You can create thicker impasto layers where the brush strokes are obvious with heavy body acrylics. These can be diluted with water to create watercolor effects also. Heavy body paints come in tubes or tubs. Fluid acrylics are more watery in their viscosity and come in bottles. Though generally we may feel that fluid version is diluted version of heavy body, but it's not so. Fluid version has equal amount of pigment. They are useful for painting in a watercolor style or for fine details. The most common acrylic paints are available in artist quality, student quality and hobby grade. Artist quality paints offer the highest pigment levels, the widest choice of color with a limited color shift when the paints dry. Student quality give less paint coverage and have a greater color shift, but the most affordable price range makes them good for large scale painting and underpainting. The main difference between the ranges is the ratio of pigment to binder. The cheaper the product, the less pigment is used, and this usually results in less opacity and thinner consistency. So artist quality paints are always worth the investment, particularly titanium white. I will advise you to not go for the hobby grade bottles or fabric or glass painting materials commonly available in the market. They are not good for canvas painting. Mass tone and undertone. Many paints have considerable difference between its mass tone and its undertone. Now what is this mass tone and undertone? Mass tone is the appearance of a paint color when applied in a thick blob of paint without dilution. Undertone is the color produced when you scrape a small amount of paint over a white surface or you mix a little bit of white into it. The other thing to consider is a pigment's covering power. In other words, its inherent opacity or transparency. This is something all pigments vary in by nature depending on their chemical makeup. For example, cadmium red is opaque. That has pretty good coverage in comparison to a crimson lake, which is transparent. It's very handy to understand these differences so you utilize their qualities to your advantage. Opaque colors cover other paints easily and are great for making solid, flat areas of color and covering up any mistakes you have made. Transparent colors are used for luminous glazing and subtle tinting, usually at the later stages of a painting. They are often labeled on a paint tube to guide you. For example, Golden puts a swatch on the tube or bottle to show the transparency. Camel paints have a system of putting a square on the tube. If the square is filled in, it's opaque. If blank, transparent. And if half filled, it's semi-transparent. You see here, cadmium red is opaque, crimson lake is transparent, and yellow ochre is semi-transparent. In camel paints, you will also find A, B or C denoting the permanency of the colors. A means absolutely permanent, B means permanent, and C means fairly permanent. Though C category means fairly permanent, if you use it as it is in the mass tone, it is permanent. The series numbers are related to the bracket of the pigments used, which in turn is related to the cost. Now that I am discussing the markings, let me also mention one or two important aspects of paint naming conventions. Why some shades have hue as suffix to the shade name? Due to the reason of toxicity of the prohibitive cost of the pigments, some classic pigments have to be replaced with some reasonable alternative, like vermilion hue or cobalt blue hue. The genuine vermilion pigment is highly toxic, whereas the ultramarine blue's original pigment is a semi-precious stone called lapis lazuli, which costs more than gold weight by weight. Hence, genuine pigments are replaced with alternative pigments, giving the similar visual impact. So, for the sake of clarity in communication, such shades are denoted by adding hue to the name. Another thing is, what is the meaning of lake in crimson lake? The process of creating pigments from dyes is called laking, and the shades made from such pigments are identified as lakes. It is interesting to note that even after such an advancement of technology, for some of the shades there are no pigments available. Hence, dyes are absorbed in transparent white pigments, and such pigment is used to make colors. This process is called laking. These shades generally have lesser light fastness and hiding power, and hence the suffix lake is used to inform the users about the same. Please use with caution, as some lake shades also tend to bleed. One of the quite important factor is the drying time. The paintings can be built in layers without disturbing the layer underneath, which is also perfect for hiding any mistakes. Acrylics dry by evaporation and tend to dry quite quickly. Acrylics refer to this as having a short working time. However, this can vary depending on several different factors. The main ones are how thick or thin you apply or lay out the paint on the palette and canvas. Absorbency of the surface you are working on, what you dilute the paint with, either water or a special medium, the heat and humidity of the environment you are working in. Evaporation can be controlled by using a stay wet palette that has been designed specifically to keep acrylic paints wet and workable for longer. The stay wet palette keeps the paints wet for a longer period. There are special acrylic polymer mediums you can add to your paint to keep them wetter for longer or extend their working time. Using open or interactive acrylics specially designed to stay wet or open for longer is another option. But these paints are slightly expensive. Misting the paints with water with a spray also is quite effective in keeping the paint wet on the palette. You need not buy the whole range of colors available in the market. A basic color palette, what I would recommend will be one warm and one cool shade each of the primary colors red, yellow and blue, along with white and black. The shades I prefer are, for warm red, that's a red with an orange bias, is cadmium red. For cool red, that's a red with a violet bias, is quinacridone red or crimson lake. A warm yellow, that's a yellow with orange bias, is cadmium yellow. A cool yellow, that's a yellow with green bias, is lemon yellow. A cool blue, that's a blue with green bias, that is cerulean blue or phthalo blue. And a warm blue, that's a blue with a purple bias, that is ultramarine blue. Along with titanium white, which is quite an opaque white, and ivory black. Binders and additives. There are binders, commonly referred as mediums, and there are additives. The two are different. Mediums have acrylic polymer binder in it, whereas additives don't. There are a large number of mediums available to make acrylic paint thicker, thinner, more translucent, or for special effects such as crackle paste for a cracked effect. Medium in fluid form is referred as medium only, and then there are gels and pastes. The consistency of gel is slightly thicker, similar to heavy body paint, and paste is even thicker. Medium and gel both come in gloss and matte variety. Medium is added to heavy body paints to make it slightly thinner and easily applicable. Similarly, gel can be added to fluid paints to make it thicker if needed. However, pastes are quite thick and are generally available in cans and can be taken out using palette knife and are typically used to add texture to the painting. Addition of mediums to paint makes the paint less intense. The amount of medium added should not generally be more than 10 to 15% of the paint, else the paint will lose its character. All three variety, fluid, gel and paste, come in white color. However, when dry, medium and gel turns transparent, but paste remains white. It's important to remember while mixing. A fluid or gel medium, when mixed with the paint, will make the paint slightly lighter when added because of its white color. But when dry, the paint will regain its bright color. However, when a paste is applied, it will dry white only. So when mixed with the paint, it will almost retain the same color as appears in wet. It will brighten up slightly when dry, but not like medium or gel. There are certain mediums made specially for a purpose, like slow drying medium or retarder, glazing medium, pouring medium, and so on. Slow drying medium or retarder. Acrylic paint dries fast, so you can progress quickly through your painting without waiting for hours or even days, as with oils, for layers to dry. However, this makes it more difficult to blend smoothly on the paint surface. Slow drying medium or retarder can be added to keep the paint open and workable for longer. The longer means just a few minutes longer and not like oil paints. However, some manufacturers make special variety of acrylic paints which dries much slower and are called open paints. However, the advantage comes with a price. Glazing medium. Glazing medium is effectively colorless acrylic paint and allows translucent glazes to be created using just a small amount of the desired color added to create Mood and atmosphere. Flow improver. Flow improver is a medium that is designed to enhance the flow of an acrylic color without reducing color strength. Mediums, gels and pastes for special effects. Pouring medium. Pouring medium is used to get special effects by using a technique called pour technique. I'll cover this in a separate video. Impasto gel. Impasto painting essentially means painting with a 3D resin surface. For this to be achieved, the paint must be full-bodied or thick. Impasto gel additive thickens the paint by raising the viscosity so the paint becomes stiff. It is translucent, so it doesn't alter the color in any way. It can also be used as an extender. Modeling paste. Modeling paste is a thick acrylic paste that is opaque and very stiff. It holds form very well and dries remarkably quickly with minimal shrinkage. It is used prior to the paint being applied directly onto the canvas. Crackle paste creates the effect of dry, cracked mud, and when paint is applied, it rests in the hollows, creating very interesting effects. There are some more gels and pastes available for some special effects like glass bead gel, sand gel, and so on. Brushes. The variety of brushes available is bound to confuse you. I will advise you to watch my video on brushes to understand various brushes and their use. For acrylics, there are no hard and fast rule as to which brushes are best, but my advice would be don't spend too much on brushes, but of course, don't go for the really cheap ones also. They leave a lot of hair while painting. I found synthetic brushes are very good with acrylics. Get some synthetic brushes of flat and round shapes in 2-3 sizes, in soft as well as hard bristles. Don't use the soft natural hair brushes, typically used for watercolor. They will get ruined. Palettes. A palette for acrylic colors should be chosen such that the paint, when dry, it should be cleanable or disposable. So the classical wooden palette is generally not preferred. Instead, you can use safety glass artist's palette, plexiglass, clear acrylic or plastic palette, real glass, disposable palette, or a stay wet palette. It's made up of a shallow leaded tray, a piece of blotting paper, and a piece of greaseproof paper, and is best kept horizontal on a flat surface. The blotting paper sits snugly in the bottom of the tray and you soak it with clean water. Next, you lay the greaseproof paper on top, then lay your paints on top of that. When you are finished painting for the day, pop on the lid so the paint is kept moist by drawing water from the blotting paper as needed. Additional materials. Additional materials you will require are a jar of water. Water is an additive and not medium, which can be used for thinning acrylics. A water spray that can be occasionally used to mist over the acrylic paints on the palette. Easel as per preference. Cloth rag or paper towel. And a can to hold brushes. That brings us to an end to this video. We have discussed various material requirements for acrylic painting. The basic materials though remains just paper, paint, some brushes and water. In the next video, I'll cover some essential tips and techniques of acrylic painting.